'Tis the sweet strawberry season. I have 5 of the easiest dessert recipes you're gonna wanna make, and none of them are just a spoonful of strawberries over angel food cake. I'm gonna start with a classic, a glazed strawberry pie. This one is the best use of the fresh strawberry. It's gonna burst, and it needs the fewest ingredients. All you really need is a store-bought graham cracker crust and a little Jell-O. Besides that, you have everything on hand, like sugar and cornstarch. So I'm gonna start just by cutting up some strawberries. I've already washed these. I like them kind of chunky here. That way you get a big burst of juiciness in each bite. Plus it just looks really pretty in this pie crust. When you're working with strawberries, you do want to wash them, of course, but you don't really want to wash them too far in advance because they hold in a lot of that moisture and then they just mold really quickly. I just like to wash them right before I use them. You need about 6 cups total of the sliced strawberries. And now we just whip up our little Jell-O mixture, and this is gonna act as the glue to hold all this together in the pie crust. You're not using the whole box. You want it to just be like a glaze almost. So we're just gonna combine some water with 2/3 cup sugar, and then 4 tablespoons each of the Jell-O and cornstarch. And you wanna dissolve the cornstarch before you bring it up to a boil. So I'm gonna bring this up to a boil and then take it off the heat and combine it with the strawberry. You just wanna make sure every strawberry is coated. All right, pour it in our pie crust. Be sure you get all that glaze worked in so that it will, glue it together while it chills. Now it just goes into the fridge. You wanna chill it for at least 2 to 4 hours or until it's completely set. Look how pretty this is. All set up and ready to be enjoyed. Glazed strawberry pie, this is that. Look how pretty she is. Top it off with some whipped cream. Classic dessert with a classic garnish. If you want the dessert that tastes like a burst of summer, this is the one. God, that's good. That is good. I didn't even expect it to be that good. When the Jell-O marries with the strawberries, it just tastes so addictingly fresh. This one's gonna be hard to stop eating. Starting off strong. Let's keep going. I've got 3 words that scream easy and delicious. Strawberry Cheesecake Dump Cake. And if it's a dump cake, it's gonna be easy. Scratch that. Start with strawberry pie filling. And as the name describes, dump it on in. And then because the strawberries are aplenty, I'm gonna add fresh strawberries in. So I'm gonna chop up about a cup of strawberries and add them in. Just kind of mix those in and spread it out in an even layer. For the cheesecake layer, it's just whipping together a block of cream cheese that's been softened well, a little sugar, an egg, and vanilla. The same things you would put in a cheesecake filling. Okay, then you spoon this over the strawberries. And this doesn't have to be perfect. That way you get little kind of dollops of cheesecake throughout. And then you just pour the cake mix right on top. Don't stir it. You know the rules when it comes to dump cake. And then 10 tablespoons of butter melted as evenly as possible. Get this butter in there. All right, into the oven we go. This goes in at 350 degrees for 40 to 50 minutes or until it's all browned, gooey, and bubbly, and then you're gonna let it stand for about 10 minutes before we serve it. It's gonna be really hard to pick a favorite of one of these today. Look at this. Look at this. To fight the temptation of digging in right now is gonna take a lot of willpower, but it is so hot. You have to let it come together to really get the full experience. You get the saucy, gooey goodness. You see the creamy cheesecake under there, but then the best part of the dump cake is that top, that buttery, crusty top. This is gonna be one of my favorites of the day just because I love all these things, and this is my favorite kind of dessert to also eat for breakfast. Look at that perfect bite. Oh my God, look at that. When you get that buttery, salty goodness in the crust on the top, paired with the sweetness and then that creamy mix with that burst of juicy fruit in there, 12 out of 10. My favorite kind of desserts to make are the ones that look way harder than they actually were to make. This is that, and it brings nostalgia. Strawberry Crunch Ice Cream Cake. It is a big version of the ice cream bars with the crunchy strawberry crunch on the outside that you would get off the ice cream truck. I'm very proud of this creation, so I hope you love it. We start by making the strawberry crunch. You get the golden Oreos and you crush them up. I'll do like half at a time. Okay, add it to a bowl. I'm gonna save the second half of the cookies, and to the first half, you're gonna stir in some strawberry jello. Basically, we're flavoring half of the crumbs. To this, we're gonna add in a stick of melted butter, and we're creating like, almost like a strawberry granola situation, or like a crumble. I'm also gonna flavor it up with just a splash of almond extract, 1/4 teaspoon, and a little pinch of salt. Little almond extract goes a long way. This goes onto a baking sheet and it goes into an oven, 350 degrees, for about 10 to 12 minutes. You just wanna kind of toast it up like a cookie crust in a pie. All right, here is what it looks like, and you have to let it cool completely. And then we just crumble it up again and mix in those other vanilla ones. All right, so once it's mostly cooled, you're gonna have like some bigger chunks. So I'm just gonna pop it back in the food processor for just like. Now, we combine them with the other half of the cookie crumbs. I mean, does that not look exactly like the real deal? This is gonna be a little more than you need for the cake, but save the extra. You'll probably just wanna start eating it by the spoonful, but it really is a great like ice cream topping. The base of the cake doesn't get any easier than just using ice cream sandwiches. Vanilla cake with the vanilla inside, not chocolate. So the hardest part of this whole recipe is unwrapping all these ice cream sandwiches. Put down the first layer of ice cream sandwiches. Cut this one in half. Well, wouldn't you know, there's just enough for a little snack. I don't make the rules, it just makes a perfect ice cream cake. Good spreader. Now I'm going in with some strawberry ice cream topping, or you can use just strawberry jam or strawberry syrup. I'm also gonna lay in some fresh strawberries. I have no rhyme or reason to how I'm cutting these strawberries today. Now, some of our crunchies. Then another layer of ice cream sandwiches. Then another layer of Cool Whip. You might be looking at these ingredients and thinking that this could be a little pricey, but to that I say you can buy the store version of like all of these ingredients. You don't have to buy like the name brand. This is a tall, hearty dessert. This is going to feed a lot of people. I recommend freezing this overnight, but you wanna go probably at least 6 hours. Look at this one. This is the one I can probably already tell you that's gonna take the cake, pun intended. That's an impressive ice cream cake. The crunchies throughout, I mean, this has it all going on. Cheers. Oh. I mean, it's creamy with a slight bit of crunch, but it feels like a cake and ice cream all together. All we need is the ice cream man music. Gonna be hard to beat this one. For real, for real. Okay, while all these are easy, this one is the easiest of the day. I couldn't let an episode go by without a strawberry shortcake, but this one isn't your typical strawberry shortcake, because instead of shortcake or biscuits, the guy behind the camera's eyes got really big. Glazed donut strawberry shortcake. This is the ultimate no-cook dessert, because the donuts are sweeter than, you know, a typical biscuit or something else you might use. We're not gonna sweeten the whipped cream or the strawberries quite as much. And it's not about sweetening the strawberries, but it's about creating that like juicy goodness. And you need a little sugar to help that happen. I'm just gonna stir in 1 to 2 tablespoons of sugar. And this does not take long, probably about like 10 minutes or so. The juices start coming out. While the berries soak, you can make some fresh whipped cream. It is simply heavy cream with a little bit of sugar. So use half the amount you normally would just to keep it from being too sweet. And then we build it on the donut. These are brioche donuts, and they're actually a little less sweet than the Krispy Kremes. Take your donut, cut it in half down, little whipped cream. See the juices that have accumulated? Okay, a little more whipped cream. The top of the donut, a little more whipped cream, and then finish with berries. I know, y'all, it hurts so good, doesn't it? Now that is strawberry shortcake. I hope you got a good look at it because it's about to get messy. You know this is gonna be good. It's another dessert fit for breakfast. Good move not to over sweeten the berries or the whipped cream. I mean, you can't beat a classic strawberry shortcake. Literal dessert of summer. For my final trick, I'm taking our viral sensation and giving it a strawberry twist. Strawberry Neiman Marcus bars, or Neiman Marcus cake, or ooey gooey butter cake, or whatever you want to call it, but it's dadgum delicious. And like all good, easy desserts, starts with a cake mix. Strawberry cake mix, unlike the original that has just vanilla cake mix. 2 eggs. Mix it up. This part is going to be really thick. And I'm gonna spread this into a baking dish. You wanna line it with some parchment paper. That way you can easily remove them and cut them into little bars. Dump and spread. You can spread it out with just the back of a spoon or an offset spatula, but to make this easier, spray it with a little nonstick cooking spray. That way it doesn't stick to your utensil. First layer down, now you make the second layer. All right, for the second layer, this one's gonna get poured over the top. It starts with powdered sugar, 2 more eggs, cream cheese, you wanna make sure it's well softened, and vanilla. Okay, pour this over this and pop it in the oven. 350 degrees for about half an hour. Here's the finished product. These look and smell delicious, but you're really gonna be impressed when you see how they look on the inside. The hard part is you gotta wait on them to cool. See how pretty it looks on the inside? The top stays like kind of creamy, which is why sometimes it's called ooey gooey, and it mixes with this bottom part that has the texture of like a brownie. I really wish I had a cup of coffee right now because this and that are just match made in heaven. I mean, truthfully, you can make this recipe with any cake mix, but the strawberry is like 10 out of 10. We did it. 5 for 5. Every one of these strawberry desserts are a hit. And don't forget how incredibly easy they were to make. You've got to try one, if not all of these, and let me know what you think. In the meantime, I'm gonna have to check myself into a sugar coma. Dang, this is good though.